Right now, at this very moment, you could have already lost 30% of your kidney function and feel absolutely nothing. No pain, no warning, not a single signal from your body. Your doctor, managing 2,000 patients, squeezing you into a 7-minute appointment, often doesn't catch it until your blood work already tells a story you cannot reverse. And here's what makes that so unsettling. The advice most people get about kidney health covers maybe a quarter of the real picture. Drink water, cut the salt, fine advice. But the part almost nobody talks about is what happens while you're asleep. Your kidneys don't filter on a flat, steady schedule around the clock. There's a specific window every night, a recovery window, when your blood pressure is supposed to drop. The pressure on your filters eases, and your kidneys do some of their deepest repair work. What you eat in that last hour of the evening either supports that process or quietly works against it. After 60, this matters more than almost anything else you're doing for your health. Because unlike your liver, which has a remarkable ability to bounce back, kidneys do not regenerate. What is gone stays gone. The game becomes about protecting the filters you still have. Tonight, I'm walking you through the fruits that actually support your kidneys during that overnight window. Which ones work, exactly why they work, and one that millions of people with kidney concerns have been told to avoid completely. I'll give you both sides of that story, honestly. And at the end, I'll give you a 2-minute bedtime blend that combines the safest of these into one glass. But before the list, I want to speak directly to the person watching who's already worried they waited too long. I need you to hear this. Even kidneys that have lost real ground can be stabilized. I have watched patients in their late 70s hold their kidney numbers completely steady for years, simply by taking the right pressure off those filters at the right time of day. That window is not closed for you. That is exactly why I make these videos. Before we go any further, do me a favor. Subscribe right here to the Dr. Weston channel and give this video a like. It takes 5 seconds and it genuinely makes a difference. We are working toward 10,000 subscribers, and this channel exists for one reason: to tell you what your own doctor doesn't have the time or the 12-minute appointment to explain. I'm Dr. Weston, and for 15 years I've been helping patients catch kidney problems early enough to actually change the outcome. Tonight, let's make sure you're one of them. Now, let me show you what's happening inside your kidneys, because once you understand the machinery, every fruit on this list will make complete sense. Each kidney holds roughly 1 million microscopic filters called nephrons, 1 million of them in an organ the size of your fist. At the center of every nephron sits a tiny cluster of blood vessels, the glomerulus, and that's the actual filter. The thing pulling waste out of your blood and keeping the proteins and nutrients where they belong. Here is the hard truth you need to carry with you. You are born with every nephron you will ever own. Your body does not make new ones. Not after an illness, not after treatment, not ever. So after 60, the entire game shifts. It becomes about protecting the filters you still have, not rebuilding the ones you have lost. Two forces destroy those filters faster than anything else. The first is pressure. When blood pressure stays elevated year after year, it is like cranking your garden hose to full blast and holding it there for decades. That constant hammering scars those delicate filter vessels closed, one by one, permanently. The second is oxidative stress. Picture the rust forming on a car left out in the rain for years. That is essentially what is happening inside your kidney cells at the microscopic level. The same process that turns a sliced apple brown sitting on your kitchen counter. A kidney under sustained pressure and a heavy oxidative load is a kidney quietly losing nephrons every single year. Here is the part almost nobody covers, and pay close attention because this changes how you think about your entire evening routine. Your blood pressure is not designed to stay flat around the clock. In a healthy body, it drops somewhere between 10 and 20% overnight. Researchers call this nighttime dipping, and it is your kidney's recovery window. The pressure eases, the filters breathe, repair happens. People whose blood pressure fails to dip at night lose kidney function measurably faster. That is not a theory. That is established clinical data, replicated across multiple large studies. And once you know that, the whole logic of evening nutrition clicks into place. You want to help that pressure drop. You want to slow the rusting. And you want to avoid dumping extra work onto your kidneys right at the moment they are trying to recover. Every fruit I am about to walk you through earns its spot by doing one of three things during that overnight window. It delivers antioxidants that neutralize the oxidative damage attacking your glomeruli. It carries plant compounds that relax blood vessel walls and encourage that natural nighttime dip. Or it works further upstream, on your gut, your uric acid levels, or your urinary tract, to lighten the kidney's load before it ever reaches the filters. Nearly all of them are low in sugar and gentle enough to eat at night. I say nearly because there is one important exception, and I will be completely straight with you when we get there. First, blueberries. This is the cleanest starting point on the entire list. That deep blue color comes from a pigment called anthocyanin. Anthocyanins rank among the most potent antioxidants ever measured in food, not in supplements, not in extracts, in actual food. For your kidneys specifically, the connection is direct. Anthocyanins neutralize the oxidative stress that scars those tiny filters closed over time. Research consistently links diets rich in these pigments to lower inflammation and healthier blood vessel function. And when you think about what your kidneys actually are, they are essentially an organ built from blood vessels. Protecting the vessels means protecting the filters. Blueberries also earn the evening slot because they are low in both potassium and sodium. Keep the word potassium in the back of your mind because it is going to surface again later in a way that changes the whole conversation for some of you watching. Half a cup before bed is the right amount. Frozen works just as well as fresh, and often better. Frozen berries are usually picked at peak ripeness, which means the anthocyanin content is actually higher than what you buy off-season in the produce section. Second, cranberries. And almost everyone gets these wrong. The reputation for fighting urinary tract infections is well earned, but the kidney story goes deeper than that. Cranberries contain a compound called an A-type proanthocyanidin, a specific molecular structure that physically prevents bacteria from latching onto the walls of your urinary tract. That is not folklore and it is not marketing language. That is the documented mechanism. And it matters for your kidneys directly because infections that travel upward from the bladder are one of the most underappreciated ways that otherwise healthy kidneys sustain real, lasting damage. Every infection you prevent downstream is stress you spare upstream. Avoid anything labeled cranberry cocktail at the pharmacy or the grocery store. That is sugar water with a splash of cranberry coloring. A small spoonful of unsweetened dried cranberries or a splash of pure unsweetened cranberry juice diluted in water is the right move. A little goes a long way overnight. Third, red grapes. And the color is the entire point here. Reach for the dark red and purple varieties. The skin is concentrated with resveratrol, one of the most studied molecules in aging research. For your kidneys, resveratrol does two things that matter. It calms inflammation, and it helps blood vessel walls soften and relax, which is exactly what you want as your body prepares for that nighttime pressure drop. Relaxed vessels mean lower overnight pressure. Lower overnight pressure means less grinding on those nephrons. Red grapes also carry a small natural dose of melatonin, the same molecule your brain uses to signal sleep. A fruit that nudges you toward deeper sleep is a fruit that helps your blood pressure achieve its full nighttime dip. Better sleep and healthier overnight pressure are two sides of the same coin. You cannot really separate them. Grapes are sweeter than berries, so portion matters. About 10 to 15 in the evening, eaten whole, skin on. A tip I give my patients: freeze them first. They take longer to eat, feel like a genuine dessert, and keep you out of the ice cream. I have had patients make that swap and never look back. Fourth, the apple. This one protects your kidneys through a side door almost nobody considers: your digestive system. An apple is one of the richest sources of a soluble fiber called pectin. When pectin reaches your gut, it feeds the beneficial bacteria living in your colon. And a well-nourished gut sends dramatically less inflammatory signaling into your bloodstream. Your kidneys filter everything in that blood. A chronically inflamed gut is like leaving a slow drip of contaminated water feeding directly into your filtration system, day after day, year after year, creating a low-grade burden that never quite lets up. Researchers have named this the gut-kidney axis, and it is one of the most active areas of kidney research happening right now. The apple skin carries quercetin, an antioxidant that has been shown to protect blood vessel walls specifically. Peel your apple and you lose most of that benefit. Eat it whole. Like blueberries, apples are low in potassium, which keeps them safely on the evening menu. A medium apple, sliced, with a light dusting of real cinnamon, not a cinnamon sugar blend, eaten about an hour before bed so the fiber has time to do its work. That is the setup. Pay close attention right here because this is where things get genuinely interesting. Every fruit so far has been doing the same quiet work, cooling oxidative damage and easing pressure on your filters. The next ones go further, including one that does something for your kidneys that nothing else on this list can do, and the one that millions of people with kidney concerns have been warned off completely. We'll get to both. Quick thing first, how old are you? Drop your age in the comments right now. I ask because after 60, the overnight recovery window I described narrows measurably. After 65, especially in people managing blood pressure or blood sugar, the stakes shift again. I want to know who is watching this. Fifth, Tart cherries. And this one genuinely surprised me when the research started coming in. Tart cherries and sweet cherries are different categories entirely. Your standard dark sweet cherry from the produce section is good fruit, but it is not this. Tart cherries, the small, nearly sour ones you find dried or in pure juice form, are a serious kidney ally for one very specific reason. Uric acid is a waste product your kidneys have to filter out every single day. When levels run too high, real damage follows. It forms the crystals behind gout. It is a leading cause of kidney stones. And elevated uric acid is now directly linked in multiple studies to faster kidney function decline in people over 60. Tart cherries have been shown to measurably reduce uric acid circulating in the blood. That is a direct favor to the organ that has to filter it. On top of that, tart cherries are among the richest natural sources of melatonin in any food. The same molecule helping you achieve deeper sleep is the molecule that helps your blood pressure hit its full overnight drop, the drop your filters depend on to actually recover. Lower uric acid and deeper sleep from one small fruit before bed. Use them as unsweetened dried tart cherries, or a splash of pure tart cherry juice diluted in water about an hour before sleep. Anything labeled cherry cocktail or cherry flavored is just sugar wearing a label. The real unsweetened version is the one doing the work. You will find it at most health food stores or online. It's worth tracking down. Sixth, strawberries. They earn their spot here for the same reasons as blueberries, with a few advantages of their own. Strawberries are dense with antioxidants, including ellagic acid and a heavy concentration of vitamin C. Together, these compounds target the oxidative stress wearing down your filter vessels. They are genuinely anti-inflammatory, and that matters because chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the engines pushing kidney disease forward year after year, quietly, without any symptoms at all. Strawberries are mostly water and fiber with very little sugar, which makes them one of the lightest things you can eat at night. You get a real antioxidant load without spiking blood sugar, and without anything sitting heavy while you sleep. About half a cup to a cup of fresh sliced strawberries in the evening, on their own or with a spoon of plain yogurt. Simple, light, and exactly what your filters want heading into the overnight window. Seventh, pineapple. Almost nobody recommends this one for kidneys, and it carries a tool none of the other fruits on this list have. Pineapple is the only common fruit that contains bromelain, a natural enzyme and a genuine anti-inflammatory. Not a marketing claim, a documented mechanism. Bromelain helps quiet the kind of widespread low-grade inflammation that slowly damages kidney filters over time, and it eases digestive load, which means less metabolic traffic reaching your kidneys overnight. Beyond bromelain, pineapple delivers vitamin C and the same class of protective antioxidants we keep returning to. And here is something that surprises most people. Pineapple is actually lower in potassium than you would expect for something that tastes this sweet. placing it on the friendlier side for kidneys already working harder than they should. The trade-off is sugar, so portion matters here. About half a cup of fresh chunks in the evening is the right amount. Fresh or frozen is far better than canned. Canned pineapple is almost always packed in syrup that wipes out the benefit entirely. Eighth, this is the surprise I flagged at the very beginning: citrus, oranges, and their relatives. The fruit millions of people with kidney concerns have been told to avoid completely. I am going to give you both sides of this honestly. The protective case is real and substantial. Citrus fruits are among the best natural sources of a compound called citrate. When citrate passes through your kidneys, it binds to calcium in your urine and prevents it from crystallizing into stones. Citrate is one of your body's own built-in defenses against kidney stones, and citrus replenishes it naturally. On top of that, oranges carry significant vitamin C and antioxidants. For a person with healthy kidneys and any history of stones, citrus is genuinely protective. So why the warning? Citrus is high in potassium. For healthy kidneys, that is not a problem. Healthy kidneys clear the excess easily, and potassium actually helps lower blood pressure. But for kidneys already in serious decline, in the later stages of chronic kidney disease, or for anyone on dialysis, those kidneys cannot clear potassium fast enough. It accumulates in the blood, and at high enough levels, that becomes a cardiac emergency. Here is the rule. If you carry a diagnosis of kidney disease, or if you take any medication that affects potassium levels, and that includes certain blood pressure drugs, do not add oranges or any high potassium fruit until you have talked to your own doctor about your specific numbers. Your lab work tells you which group you are in, not general advice. Your numbers, your doctor. For the majority of people watching, citrus is a healthy, protective choice. For some, it is exactly the wrong one. Only your own blood work can tell you which side you are on. This is the most critical point in the entire video, so if you drifted, come back right now. These fruits support healthy kidneys and kidneys under mild strain. They are not a treatment for kidneys already in serious trouble. If you are experiencing swelling in your legs or around your eyes that does not resolve after lying down, foamy urine, blood in your urine, a significant drop in how much you are urinating, or a dull, deep ache below your ribs in your lower back, those symptoms need a doctor. Not next month, soon. Don't manage those at home with fruit. Don't wait for your annual checkup. Those are signs that need direct evaluation. And if you carry an existing kidney disease diagnosis, or if you take blood pressure medication or anything that touches your potassium levels, bring this list to your doctor first before making changes. Food is the foundation. It is not the entire building. Let me tell you about Gerald. Gerald was 71 years old, a retired high school science teacher from outside Columbus, Ohio. He walked every morning 2 miles before his coffee, rain or shine, had been doing it for years. He came in for a routine physical primarily because his wife had been asking him to for 2 years straight. His blood work told a quieter story than he expected. His EGFR, the key number that tells us how well your kidneys are actually filtering, had slipped just below the threshold where we start watching very carefully. His creatinine had been slowly ticking upward over 3 consecutive annual blood panels, a trend nobody had flagged until we laid all the numbers out side by side. He sat across from me, genuinely stunned. No diabetes, no heavy drinking. He had always assumed kidney trouble was something that happened to people who did not take care of themselves. We did not start with medication. We started with his evenings. Gerald ended every night the same way: salted pretzels and a ginger ale in front of the 10 o'clock news. That snack was hitting his kidneys with sodium and sugar right at the start of their recovery window, like pouring sand into a drain right when it's trying to clear out. We made the swap. Some nights, a bowl of blueberries and sliced strawberries. Other nights, a sliced apple with real cinnamon, or a small handful of unsweetened dried tart cherries about an hour before bed. We confirmed through his blood work that his potassium was safe, so he kept his orange with breakfast and left citrus out of the evenings entirely. He added a 10-minute walk after dinner, specifically to bring his blood pressure down before that overnight window opened. 1 year later, his EGFR had held completely steady. I want to be direct with you about what that means, because I do not believe in telling people what they want to hear. It did not climb back. Kidneys do not rebuild what they lose. But the decline stopped. His blood pressure was the best it had been in a decade. For a 71-year-old kidney, holding the line is a genuine victory. That was the goal, and that is what we got. Now, the bonus. The 2-minute nighttime kidney blend. Into a blender, a small handful of blueberries, roughly a quarter cup. 4 or 5 sliced strawberries. A splash of pure unsweetened cranberry or tart cherry juice for the urinary tract and uric acid protection. About half a cup of plain unsweetened kefir or yogurt, which brings probiotics for that gut-kidney connection. A little water to loosen it up. A shake of real cinnamon to finish. Blend it smooth. Low in sugar, low in potassium. Concentrated with the antioxidants your kidney filters are looking for overnight. And it gives you something to reach for at night that actually works with your body instead of loading it down. Drink it about an hour before bed. A couple of variations so you don't fall into a rut. On a sweeter night, drop in a few frozen red grapes before blending. If your stomach runs sensitive, skip the kefir and use just water with the berries. And if you don't want to pull out the blender, a small bowl of blueberries and sliced strawberries with a spoon of plain yogurt does the same core work. The tool is not the blender. The tool is the swap, replacing the late-night pretzels and soda with something that works for your filters instead of piling onto them. I left citrus out of the recipe intentionally because of the potassium issue we covered. If your kidneys are healthy and your doctor has confirmed your potassium levels are fine, keep citrus as a morning addition on the side. Here is exactly what to do tonight. First, close your kitchen earlier. Make your last food one of these fruits instead of something salty or processed. Your kidneys start their recovery window right after you settle in. Let them start it with less to clean up, not more. Second, pick one low potassium fruit you already have in your kitchen right now. Blueberries, strawberries, or a medium apple. Eat a small portion about an hour before bed. That is the entire starting point. Just that. Third, if you want the full effect, make the nighttime kidney blend. Blueberries, strawberries, a splash of unsweetened cranberry or tart cherry juice, plain kefir, real cinnamon. 2 minutes, 1 glass, and you are done. Fourth, add a 10-minute walk after dinner. Not for the exercise, for your blood pressure. Walking after a meal is one of the most consistently documented ways to bring blood pressure down before that overnight recovery window opens. And your blood pressure is the single biggest lever you personally hold over your long-term kidney health. Fifth, if you carry a kidney disease diagnosis or take blood pressure medication or anything that touches your potassium levels, write down one question for your doctor this week. Just one. Which fruits are safe given my current potassium levels? That single question tells you exactly which items on this list are yours to use. How old are you and what state are you watching from? Drop both in the comments. I want to see where everyone is tuning in from California to Florida, from Texas to New York, from the Midwest all the way to the coast. And if your age puts you past 60, I especially want to hear from you. The pharmaceutical industry has no interest in you knowing that the right fruit at the right time of night can take real measurable pressure off your kidney filters. That doesn't move product off a shelf. But the research is there, the mechanism is real, and you deserve to know it. Subscribe to the Dr. Weston channel and leave a like. We are working toward 10,000 subscribers, and every person who shares this with someone managing blood pressure or blood sugar is someone who might actually shift what's happening inside those filters before it goes too far. Eating the right thing at night is one lever, but there is another one, a single marker on a standard blood panel that quietly signals kidney trouble years before your creatinine ever moves. Most doctors will not bring it up unless you ask for it by name. In my next video, I will tell you exactly what that marker is, how to request it at your next appointment, and what to do if yours is already heading the wrong direction. I'm Dr. Weston. I'll see you there.